I can't believe it took me this long to finally get to this series. It's been sitting on my shelf forever. This is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for, and I just haven't gotten to it. I finally have, and here are my thoughts. Now, I usually don't like reading the back cover, and I won't, but they're just maybe these first couple lines as a very, very brief summary. Humanity has colonized the solar system, Mars, the moon, the asteroid belt, and beyond, but the stars are still out of our reach. For how long they may be beyond reach, that's a bit of, we might kind of get hints of that from this first book. And it just makes me so excited for where things are going. I was halfway through this and I bought the rest because I thought, I'm such an idiot. I should have been reading this all along. But anyway, we have the people on Earth, the governments of Earth and whatever, the United Nations sort of organizations, bureaucracies, whatever you want to call them on Earth. We have similar types on Mars. On Earth, they have a large fleet, and on Mars they have a smaller but a more advanced fleet, one would say. And they also have colonized the belt, which is kind of the in-between Earth and Mars, like the inner planets with the outer ones. And the people who live on the outer belt, places like Ceres, they kind of view, there's an othering that happens between the people on the belt and the people of Earth and Mars, while there also is this clash between Earth and Mars. And it's like this powder keg that is just waiting to go off. Now, we have a couple different POVs, and it always goes back and forth between. The chapters are always very consistently about 8 pages, and Holden is our main character in one of the POVs. He's an ice miner, he has a crew, and he kind of turns into this wrong place or right place at the right time, or wrong place at the wrong time. In this area, whenever there's a ping of distress that happens, whoever is the closest one has to, the closest ship around has to basically drop what they're doing and head towards wherever this ping is happening. And this happens to him. And he sees something that's going to really set off the chain reactions of this massive powder keg. It's interesting because a lot of the stuff that we are going to view through him, we're going to see how sometimes he reacts very quickly based on his initial judgments. It can be a little bit frustrating as we follow him. And but basically, this Jim Holden will put out a call to the solar system, which will basically spark off this massive conflict. Then we have Detective Miller, and he is on Ceres. So he is off in this belter area, on this planet Ceres. And he is a little bit of a washed up detective who will become like obsessed with finding this person. Her parents want to know where she is. She's basically on this Peace Corps sort of group. She's an idealist, and they want her back. And so he becomes kind of obsessed with this throughout the whole book. Some of the critiques around his perspective or his POVs is just how much he gets kind of obsessed with this. But that's what takes us into this series, or into this book. And it goes back and forth. I don't know where the rest is going to go. It is quite quick-paced. I kind of think of a bike in either low gear or high gear, whatever it would be, where it's turning very slowly, but then the wheels just spinning like crazy. And this is obviously a series on TV. I haven't watched it, but reading this book, every couple pages, it's like something is happening. I feel like I've been through a 24-episode TV show in just 560 pages. It's so dense and quick-paced that I couldn't read it quickly. Even though I was always reading it, I was really going slow because I was just spent. I was just spent after a couple chapters. Now, some of the things that are interesting about this book. There is a lot of political tension and class tension, if that's the kind of thing you're interested in. It really goes into themes of the nature of humanity. And we find that both in the conflict that is within the book. It's also kind of apparent, especially in the resolution of the book, which in a lot of ways, it is a very feel good sort of resolution that you would expect in a TV show kind of novelized book like this. It has a little bit of horror to it. It is unsettling at times. It is very scientific, I think. I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know, but it sounds good to me. The types of conflict is not about necessarily a big bad emperor trying to take over everything. In this one, it's more about these issues that come up, and it reminds me of things like Star Trek, where it's almost like a problem of the week. We get that here. It has a good resolution to the novel of this issue that they have, but it just opens a whole bunch of doors to the rest of the series, which I am very, very excited about. I was about 200 pages into the series when I thought, this is absolutely for me. I'm having the time of my life. And I thought, this is going to be a main focus of the rest of the year. Having finished it, I feel pretty satisfied at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to rush into the next ones, but I think I might space it out because I know that I really enjoyed the characters a whole lot, and I just feel absolutely satisfied is the best way to view it. In the same way that things like Project Hail Mary kind of left me satisfied at the end of it. Sometimes we get too much of a hook at the end of books that really don't leave you with that and kind of just build up to the next one. While this does that, it does give you a nice resolution. It really talks about the balance of idealism versus cynicism in a lot of ways, especially through these two main characters who are great. I loved all the main characters here. It has that very good blend of genres. While it has horror and hard sci-fi, it has this detective noir element. It's very much a military thriller at times, and I really liked it. I thought it had good world building. It was very readable and accessible. The characters were, sometimes they were a little bit one note, but I liked their interactions with each other. I feel like I've emotionally connected with them in a way that we would hope we would get in a TV series. It also happened within the book, and I was very pleased with it. Now, the prose was nothing flowery and exceptional, but it was very readable. It was about the plot. Some of the characters were a little annoying, maybe a little bit naive. Maybe the obsession of Detective Miller kind of got to me over time, where it just might have been overplayed, but that was a part of his arc or whatever. But it sometimes didn't feel like an arc because it was so one note at times, but I really liked it. I wouldn't give it any, I don't give stars necessarily. If I had to, for what it was, I would give it a 5 stars for me. It wasn't the deepest read, but it was the right thing at the right time. Again, I feel like I've been through a big, satisfying season 1. I'm excited to go to the next one. Now, changing notes really quick, I do have an Amazon shopping list link. I don't have Patreon. I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't ask for donations or anything like that, even though I don't fault people who do that. I don't want your money, but if you would like to support the channel, I do have, again, the shopping list, and I have a link in the description. If you would like to go and look through some of my wish list of other books that I'm looking into, again, you can look through that. You can send over a book. You're not obligated to, but it would certainly be appreciated, and I'll try to give you a shout out when I can. If you find anything on there that isn't on my shopping list, you can You can add your favorite book and throw it on. If I get anything, I'm very likely to bump it way up on the TBR and have it featured. And I figure that might be a way that people can support the channel if they would like to. So anyway, really, really great. I liked this a lot. I thought I was maybe going to go right into it, but with the resolution that I got, I'm happy with it, and I can't wait to still go to the next one. So talk to you guys later.